Hello everyone, this is Debbie Henderson from Debbie's Designs. Welcome to my monthly 3D Thursday class. I'm just going to give it a few more seconds for everybody to join me tonight. And just a few announcements before we get started. We only have a few more weeks left for the extra promotion. That's when you can join as a demonstrator and be part of my team. And you get to actually pick $155 worth of products and pay only $99 and free shipping. I've had quite a few of you guys join under me in the last 2 months, and thanks to everyone that has. My hostess code for August, again, only a few more weeks, and everybody gets lumped together into a big party, and you guys all share the rewards. So make sure you use this code when you check out. My free card kit for the month of August. Anybody that places an order of any amount will receive all of the pieces to put their own card together. As you can see here, I use the Magnolia Lane designer paper. I use the Noble Peacock foil sheets with the heirloom frame dies and embossing folder. And then the butterfly is from the Butterfly Beauty Thinlits dies. And lastly, my door prize for the month of August. For anybody that places an order with me, your name will get entered into my drawing. And that also includes all of my paper pumpkin customers. So good evening, everyone. I can see everybody coming on. I'm so glad you're joining me. So tonight I am using the Pocket of Happiness stamp set. This coordinates with the pocket dies that we've had for a few years. The other stamp set retired that went with this, but now we have this new one. So I'll be using the pocket itself. I'm using some blends markers tonight. Rococo Rose Light, Dark Petal Pink, Light Mango Melody, and Dark Mint Macaron. I'm using the pocket image and the sentiment that says, let me check here, a gift for you, this one right here. Now let me show you what I'm using for cardstock. So I'm doing a 3D project today. If you guys like to create gift card holders, that's what I'm creating today. It has the little pocket on the front. I use the rectangle shaped dies, front and back. I've got a little loop here with the ribbon. And then the gift card slides right in there. Very simple. So we're using Seaside Spray for cardstock. I've gone ahead and cut with the stitched rectangles dies 2 pieces and also one with Whisper White. Now the sizes that I'm using is this one, which would be number 3. So 1, 2, 3. And then 4 and 5. So 3 and 5. 3 is the Seaside Spray. 5 is the Whisper White. Going to need a scrap of the Seaside Spray for stamping. And then I have 2 pieces of ribbon here from the Scalloped Linen ribbon. This is again the Seaside Spray to coordinate with the cardstock. This one is 5 inches long. This one is 1 inch long. The little piece goes right here on the side of the pocket. I'm going to show you how I did that. And let me see what else. We've got Versamark ink, Seaside Spray ink. I've got my embossing buddy, clear embossing powder. And what I'm doing with that is I'm going to show you how to create your own colored embossing powder. I'm going to try to put this up to the camera to see if you can see how shiny. This is embossed and I colored on the inside. I'm going to show you how to do that tonight. So we're going to start out by doing the stamped image. Now I am using the Seaside Spray ink as my color of embossing ink, but I'm going to ink with Versamark ink first. What that does is it keeps the image nice and wet. So make sure you stamp it really good with the Versamark ink first. Then on top of that, you're going to do the Seaside Spray. So what that does is once I stamp it on here, because the Versamark is such a wet and sticky ink, it gives you plenty of time to add the embossing powder and it'll stick to it. So you can see here that the embossing powder is all nice and stuck. I'm going to bring the heat tool in. So I'm just going to make noise for a little bit. So you can do this with any ink color. If there's a specific ink color that you want embossing powder, again, just choose your ink, emboss, ink your stamp image with Versamark first, and then add the colored ink on top. Now you can see how that's turning, it's melting. Okay, and that's all ready to go. Now I'm going to bring in the Big Shot so I can cut out the pocket shape. So I'm going to lay my pocket right over the image, centered. Add a little bit of washi tape to hold it in place. Now what this die does is it gives you the shape of the pocket, and it also gives you the little score line so you can just fold everything over. So I'm just going to press on the score lines. Now the reason I wanted to do embossing is because the Seaside spray would be so light, and if I went ahead and colored on top of the ink with the blends markers, it wouldn't show up as well. So by doing the embossing, now I'm going to color, the embossing actually is darker. So once you're done with the coloring, you still see all of the blue lines. Everything pops because it's embossed. Okay, I'm just going to color all of these images. It won't take me that long. And I tend to, for some reason, I tend to not use the fine tip. I like coloring with the brush tip. The trick is to not press too hard when you're coloring. I am not adding some shading today. I'm just going with single colors. And I'll show you once the blends marker dries completely, you can see the blue ink lines. They stand out so much. Okay, let me see if I got, oh, I got one more leaf right here. I want to make sure, oh, I got a few more leaves. I'm talking too much and I missed a couple there. And right here. Okay, now the bird. And even though I'm coloring yellow on the Seaside spray, it still shows up perfectly as yellow. This is the petal pink. I'm just going to outline the flowers. So this would be the outer part of the flower. One more. So you can see it doesn't take long for this to be colored in. Oh, one more right here too. I did forget my little dots, and I can see one leaf right here that I forgot, so I'll go back and do that. So I'm using the yellow to do my little dotted little berries. I've got a flower right here that I missed. A little tiny leaf right here. So you guys can see how the blue lines really pop. They didn't get buried with the coloring of the blends on top. So the embossing, if you're doing light colored ink, by doing the clear embossing and creating your own color, it also gives you, it's easier not to go outside the lines because you have the embossing to use as a guide. Okay, look how quick that was. I'm all done coloring that already. Now, let me bring my other pieces in. Now, I forgot to show you on the back, I do have the white piece that has the sentiment. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp that. And that just says, a gift for you. And these would be great for Christmas too, if you use a Christmas set. Now, let me go ahead and add a few rhinestone jewels in the center of my flowers. I'm just going to add 2 of them. And now I need to glue these back to back, but first I'm going to add the white sentiment layer. And that's going to go in the center. Next, I'm going to flip this over and just add like 3 glue dots vertically. I'm going to add my ribbon, make sure it's centered. Add a few more glue dots. Whoops, that one stuck to my finger. Press this in place to form my loop. And then I'm going to add 3 more glue dots to the top. So we've got 3 layers of glue dots, so this ribbon is not going to go anywhere. And now I'm just going to add snail. And then add this piece on top. Make sure they're lined up perfectly. Okay, so there's your 2-sided gift tag. Now we're going to add the pocket. And the way I did that is I used the mini dimensionals. Make sure the straight edge is going that way. You don't want these to show. So I'm going to add 3 on the side flaps and then 2 on the bottom flaps. So we've got a lot of dimensionals only because you're inserting a gift card, so you want it to be sturdy. Okay, so now, before I do that, I need to add my little loop. We're going to use glue dots again. I'm going to add that right in between the dimensionals. And that's going to be folded over, so it's going to go this way. And I'm going to add 1 more on top so I can fold it over. So there's my little pocket loop. Now, I'm just going to remove the backing of all the dimensionals. And then all we have left to do is to press the pocket in place. So these would be great for craft fairs. They would be great for gifts. If you need to create quite a few, they're really easy to mass produce. Now, let's see if we can glue this down. I'm going to start with the bottom. You want to make sure that your tabs fold down. So there's my first side. And then the gift card just fits right inside. Let me see if I can get another gift card so I can put that in there. So how's that for a quick 3D project for you tonight? Let me flip this one over so you can see the back side. And there you go. And you guys know what to do if you want to win one of these. Facebook has changed now. So if I ask you guys to do particular things like sharing and liking, they can actually shut down my video. So I'm not going to ask you to do that. You just know that you need to do that in order to win whatever I create. So I hope you like my project for tonight. Let me bring the stamp set back in that I use so you'll know which one to order. And I will be back here on Sunday at 7 p.m. with my monthly Step It Up Sunday. Thanks so much for joining me tonight, everyone. I hope you have a good night. See you on Sunday.